Juniors, hello, it's the counselors coming to talk to you today about a number of things. First and foremost, we want to congratulate you on nearing the end of your junior year and basically want to wish you a great summer, and we're so excited for you to come back next fall as our leaders. We want to thank you for making this school great. Because of you, for all the work that you do both in and outside of the classroom. We just are so appreciative of how great you've made this school, and we're excited for you to be our leaders next year. Today we wanted to come and talk to you today about some things that you can be doing to prepare for next year to make it a seamless fall for your senior year. To direct our conversation, what I'm going to do is show you that I'm at the high school website, and I'm going to log into Naviance, which we're hopeful that you've been using because we've been assigning you tasks to do various things such as college searches and that sort of thing. Just to refresh your memory, from the high school website, you click on Quick Links. So hopefully most of you are using Naviance. You log in by clicking on Naviance Family Connection. This screen pops up. And for those of you who haven't forgotten, your username is your student ID unless you've changed it. And your password is your birth date. So it's 4/15/ full year in this example. So you would not have a 0 in front of the month for those of you with single-digit months or days. And log in. I'm going on to Naviance to direct our conversation because, again, we want you to have a wonderful summer, and we want to assign you a couple of tasks. There's 2 big jobs for you this summer. The first one is to narrow down your options for next fall, finalizing what's next for you, whether it's 2-year, 4-year, community, technical college, military, gap year, finalizing your plans. And the second big assignment that we're going to talk to you about is making your summer productive. And I'm going to start with that. This summer, make it great. Make it meaningful. Make it something where you're learning about yourself all the more so that you feel confident coming back as a leader, as a senior, and planning for that next right fit. On this front page, we monthly put in announcements of things that you can be considering doing and different announcements that are going on for your class. If you scroll down to the bottom, to make your summer productive, we've put in some examples of some summer enrichment options that are going on this summer that you still can apply for. You can find a host of those summer enrichment options on Naviance by going to colleges and clicking on the enrichment programs. You can search for them by different themes, titles, majors, career areas. Going back to those announcement pages and our 2 big tasks that we're talking to you about, narrowing down your options, we want to talk to you about a couple of ways that you can do that. If you haven't done so already, you can go to colleges and do a search engine to narrow down some college options. It basically takes 5,000 colleges, asks you a series of questions, and then comes up with a list of schools that might be a match for you. What's kind of neat about that is when you get a list of schools, let's say I put in University of Minnesota, Twin Cities, campus, go, you're able to see students who have applied to that school within the last few years and see where you fall, just as a gauge, as an estimate, as a way to affirm or allow you to know if this is a reach school or a school that you're pretty comfortable as you apply next year. One of the things that we recommend is that you're considering schools that, if you're looking at colleges, it's schools that you know that you're going to be accepted to, schools that your dream school, and we really encourage you to look at a local school, a Minnesota school, because a lot of times financial aid is out there for in-state residents. Whether something good or bad happens, sometimes you have to stay in-state. So going back here to the home, again, a big task for you right now is to narrow down your college options and your post-secondary options, whatever's your right fit. So I'm going to go back to our high school website. And under families and under counselors, we have all kinds of resources to help you with that. There's college applications instructions and all kinds of things like that. Under the Career Resource Center, we have an amazing tool that you can use called a college application spreadsheet. If you open this up, you can save it and start to keep track of all the colleges you're interested in, some information about them, and some of the deadlines that they have. We're talking about this to you right now so that when you come back to school in the fall, you kind of have a plan for a map of deadlines in the college application process. That said, as you can see, I'm scrolling back and forth between the high school website and Naviance because there's so many tools out there to help you narrow in on what's next for you and to help you with this whole process. Something to note, we all know that you took the ACT in March. And remember, that's for a four-year college. It's an entrance exam that equalizes a playing field so that colleges know your college readiness next to people from different states and yourself. But what matters the most is how you do every day. 365 days a year. So please take that with a grain of salt that it's one test one day. And if you wanted to retake it, colleges will take the better of the two scores, and there's another test scheduled for Saturday, June 11th. The deadline is passed, but you can pay a late fee if you wanted to do that. So there's some information about the ACT on here. Again, this front page gives you all kinds of announcements. So if you're not getting this announcement monthly from us, make sure that we have your right email under the About Me tab, and you want to scroll down to your profile and put in your right email for us. So one of your tasks for the summer, if you haven't narrowed down your options, is to do that. And once you do that, if you have put in colleges that you're thinking about as a junior, we want you this summer to move those colleges to your colleges that you're applying to. This is going to be the vehicle for which we send out your college applications next fall. So if you if you plan on going on to four-year, two-year community technical college, you'd want to put this into Naviance by adding a college, and you'd be able to then come in and request your transcripts and everything else that you need for that school. That said, I want to make a special note about some of the processes that we have to help you manage your college application process. Once you've put in the colleges that you're applying to on Naviance, we want you to know that, and once you've moved them from colleges you're thinking about to colleges you're applying to, we wanted to point out a couple of things. You're going to be able to note if your college is a Common App school by a CA next to it when you put it on Naviance. The Common Application is a consortium of about 700 colleges where if you apply to one, do the application on Common App's website, you can use that to apply to up to 700 schools. Obviously, we think a good list is 6 to 8 schools. To know how to match your Common App, I'm going to minimize this for a second and minimize this and go back to our high school website. You have to match your Common App onto Naviance in order for us to send anything out for a Common Application. We have a tutorial for that if you went to the counselor's website, and if you look at college application procedures, we have a tutorial that helps you understand how to match your Common App onto Naviance. It's a 2-minute tutorial. So it's something to think about looking at this summer. In addition, as I referenced, we're hoping on the high school website to have the entire PowerPoint that we had on Tuesday, May 10th, for your parents and for those of you who came in its entirety, to give you some examples and a more extensive version of what I'm talking about today. And finally, I would say to you that if you go back to the counselor's website, we have put in a host of different resources for you to be able to know how the college application instructions sheet step by step. Moving back to the college application process, we want to make a special note that transcripts must be requested. We do not take them online, and they're $3 per transcript for us to send out to your colleges, but it's only going to be available to you after school begins. We promise we're going to go over all of this application process with you the first week that you get back from school. Yes, there are some schools that open up their applications. In fact, the Common App is going to launch in July for you to be able to send out different things, but we're not able to send anything out for you because we're not here in the summer. So no worries, breathe easy. We'll meet with you right away in September, and then you can fill out a salmon-colored transcript request sheet, and we'll send out your transcripts. Take special note of which colleges are asking that you have a letter of recommendation. All of the Common Application schools do require a letter. Please be considerate to whoever you're requesting a letter from. You want to give 2 weeks. We have a recommendation request form in the wall box of Student Center East, and you can find it online, and you'd want to fill that out and ask your teacher or recommender if they're using Naviance. If they are, they can send it electronically. If they're not, you would have to give them a self-addressed stamped envelope to send it out. Make sure you tell them which schools you're using it for. There's 3 ways for you all to apply. Online, which is you simply going to the college's website, filling it out. After you're done, in the fall, you'd come in and request a transcript, and we'll send everything out electronically. There's also Common Application. As I referenced, it's well over 500 now colleges, and it's one application. You go to commonapp.org. You can do that now. They have a ton of resources right now, virtual counselors, all kinds of videos that you can go on and find out if your school's a Common App and start to fill out the application process, including the essays. The essays haven't changed from last year. You can start that process now. Once fall hits, then you can request a transcript and you can request your letters of recommendation. We can send that off via Naviance and only via Naviance for recommendations if your teacher's willing. There's also the on-site admissions day that we're going to tell you about. The on-site admissions day is going to be in the fall. We're going to talk to you, tell you about over 30 schools. You can apply and be accepted up to 2 schools by October 26th. We'll tell you the details of that in the fall. We'll send you something out this summer, but the bottom line is this gives you a sure bet first admission school so that you can go to your dream schools after that. The deadline for applying for that when we meet with you in the fall will be October 7th, bringing that up to Student Center East and turning in all your application materials. The Coalition of Colleges is another vehicle that's brand new to apply, and all of the schools that are on that, it's over 80 top schools. They're using it to be accessible to students and as far as the application process goes. But what we're hearing is that they also accept the Common App. And since we're using Naviance and the Common App, we're going to really encourage you to consider using the Common App as a coalition kind of irons out its wrinkles. So a couple of changes going on for all of you sitting here right now, in that usually students apply for financial aid, and no matter how much money you make, you should apply for the FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and that's typically been in January of a student's senior year. Now it's going to be available to you in October. This is going to be pretty cool because it's going to allow you to know earlier what kind of financial aid packages your colleges can come up with, because that's, let's face it, a determining factor on what college you might look at. So stay tuned to that. We actually I had pulled up here a flyer that talks a little bit about it. We'll have this all online. There's some great resources. Basically, you're going to be using income information from your parents from the 2015 school year. So it's available October, and there's going to be an autofill option for you and your family because you filled out your taxes, and then colleges will be able to come up with financial aid packages a little quicker. So again, I know this is a lot of information, but we wanted to meet with you to show you some tools and give you 2 tasks this summer. Start narrowing down your options and be productive. Be ready to come back in the fall to be our leaders, and that's when you can start to request transcripts and that sort of thing with us. So until then, juniors, finish strong, have a great summer, and we'll see you in the fall.